Hi everyone, Heather here with astrologywithheather.com, and I am back with another weekly forecast. And this one's a little late, so this one's going to be for Tuesday, January 7th, all the way through to Sunday, January 12th of 2020. And I'm sorry you guys for the delay. As I mentioned in my last video, these transits do impact astrologers too, and I had a series of mishaps. My computer broke, I got sick with pneumonia, and I'm still kind of recovering right now. And so I'm taking it slow, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got your forecast for this week, because this is like arguably the biggest astrological week of 2020. And I want to make sure that you guys understand what's going on so you can navigate it in the best possible way. And so this week we have three huge events occurring all within just a couple of days, within 48 to 72 hours. It's going to be all happening at once. And so we're kind of coming into this energy here at the end of the week with a lunar eclipse in the sign of Cancer. And this is actually a penumbral lunar eclipse, which is typically considered to be a weaker lunar eclipse energy. But this one in particular is huge because on the opposite end of the eclipse energy, so a lunar eclipse is always it occurs during a full moon when both the sun and moon are in a conjunction within a certain orb within 16-17 degrees of the north and south nodes. And so it's the sun in opposition to the moon. It is a full moon eclipse. And so what we have going on here in this particular eclipse is that the sun, which is a huge part of this eclipse energy, is in a super, super tight conjunction with Mercury, Saturn, Pluto, and the asteroid series, if you want to, get into that as well. And there's going to be a T-square forming with Eris too. And so this is kind of it's an interesting combination of energies. It's kind of like we're being pulled in two directions. Like we can see where we're headed and where we want to move into in the future with this Cancer energy with the full moon. But there's so much going on the opposite end in Capricorn, where we're dealing with some hard issues. We're having some difficult conversations. We're taking a good hard look at where we're at in life and what feels oppressive, what is no longer serving us, so that way we can work on letting go of whatever that energy represents for us. So that way we can move on. We can move into something bigger and better. But before that happens, there's going to be potentially some sort of emotional or psychological crises that needs to be dealt with. There's going to be a restructuring that can come on really hard and really fast that you need to deal with in the moment on a physical level in order to get there. And at the same time this is happening, we have that Saturn-Pluto conjunction coming exact on the 12th on Sunday. And this is a huge energy that's been building and building and building. We had the closest configuration of Saturn and Pluto come very close to being exact this summer, but it didn't come exact. So over the summer, you might have had some additional stressors in the area of life represented by Capricorn in your chart. You might have had to deal with some additional, potentially some trauma, some challenges, some delays, some really deep inner work, some soul searching in that area. And so if you did that work, if you addressed it, or if you, at the very least, you initiated something or started that process, then you'll already be a little bit ahead of the game this week. This isn't the only time this energy is prevalent. It's been really, really strong for the past few weeks. It's going to continue to be really, really strong for the next few weeks. And so this is just like the peak point of that energy, the boiling point where everything comes to this head, this culmination. And so this is going to be a huge time of turbulence and change globally, collectively, and also on an individual level. We're already seeing a lot go on in the global sphere, especially here in the United States. We have things like Harvey Weinstein being arrested. That's that Eris energy, right? So there's going to be a lot of people causing their own demise. There's going to be a lot of energy around revealing things that were hidden in plain sight. We're already seeing that in the media in a big way. And then there's also obviously conflict going on internationally between the US and Iran. And I know other countries have a lot of things that are starting to bubble up as well. And so you can see this, right? You can see how this is starting to play out on a global sphere. That same sort of turbulence, that same revealing, that that energy with Eris, which really reveals the truth that's been hidden in plain sight all along. The hard truth in these circumstances that you might not have wanted to look at, that's going to be a key player in this eclipse energy as well. So people are going to start realizing that they're causing their own problems. They're creating their own demise. Things are going to be revealed that'll show them that. Things will be revealed about other people in your life that you might have overlooked, even though it was right there all along for you to see. These types of themes will be very prevalent. It's a big part of this configuration. Also, at the exact same time, on the same day as the eclipse, Uranus, the planet that stimulates revolution, incredible, crazy changes that come out of nowhere that can be shocking and unexpected in big ways. This Uranus energy is going to be really, really, really strong, because anytime Uranus stations, especially if it's in a close configuration with one of your natal planets, this is an important time where you can have unexpected changes this week that come out of nowhere, out of the blue, that throw things for a loop, that cause you to have to rearrange your life in some way in the area associated with Uranus, the Taurus area of your chart in your life. And that's going to be a big part of this too. So not only do we have an eclipse energy, which stimulates a fated change, a fated transition into something new, that's also highlighting all of this energy that's really concentrated in Capricorn, that's causing us to have to take responsibility for what we've created in our lives, for what's being revealed that we might not want to look at, that has been the truth all along. And it's causing us to have to restructure. That's that restructuring energy I've been talking about for over a year now. This is that boiling point with that. And then we have that Saturn-Pluto conjunction coming exact, which is a huge energy that doesn't come along very often. You'll see it probably like twice in your lifetime, maybe 3 times if you live to be super, super old. And every time it comes about, it's very intense. And the last time we had this in the sign of Capricorn was during the Protestant Reformations. The very beginning of the Protestant Reformations actually occurred the same year that you had that Pluto-Saturn conjunction in Capricorn. So if you can think about how crazy of a time that was, how that was such a big change from the current paradigm and the current systems of control into something new, where the biggest overarching control system, which was the Catholic Church at that time, the biggest governing body really, was being broken apart, and there was a revolution going on, right? So that's what was going on then. And so you can kind of take a look at how that's reflected in different ways in what's going on now. But this is a time of sort of breaking apart and restructuring on a personal level too, where you have to look at the control systems, the control mechanisms, either internal or external, that are preventing you from being who you need to be, that are preventing you from connecting with your truest and deepest desires for your life. And so it's a big, big week. It's a big transformative week, and so that's why, even though this is late and you know, I'm not feeling 100%, I wanted to get this out to you guys because it's important and it's a big, big energy. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today in the forecast for all 12 signs. And before we get into that, I do have a couple of quick announcements. The main one is, if you are interested in learning more about Pluto, because Pluto is going to be a big player this year. Pluto and Jupiter will be coming on and off into a conjunction throughout the entire year, beginning for the first time exact in April. This Saturn-Pluto energy is still going to be playing out for a few months. I mean, Pluto is going to be in your face this year. And so I'm doing a huge webinar over 4 hours long on Saturday, January 25th, called Mastering Pluto, where we're going to dive really deep into what Pluto represents in astrology, how to really figure out the influence of Pluto in your own chart and in your own life, so you can work with the energy more effectively, so you can take hold of some of the more empowering manifestations of Pluto and overcome some of the challenges that might be there depending on how your chart looks. We're going to be getting into transits from Pluto, which are huge this year, and cycles of Pluto. So the the cycles of Pluto that come from your birth placement and how that plays out throughout your entire life. And so this is going to be a huge webinar, very important and very timely. That's why I wanted to do it in January. I didn't want to do it right when there was that Pluto-Saturn conjunction, just because I figure it's going to be kind of a turbulent time for everyone. So I'm still there. It's still really strong. So anyway, you can sign up for that webinar. The link is down in the description below. You can get 25% off if you sign up in advance, and you can attend the webinar live and ask all the questions you want. The other thing that is a part of this is that this is actually a part of my Mastering the Outer Planets series, and so you can actually get the series right now for a $20 discount until the 25th, and then it's going to go up to its full price. And so if you want to get the whole series of Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and attend the free bonus webinar in March on Mastering Jupiter, which is only available if you get the whole series, you can find that down in the description below. It's a great series. I've been getting really incredible feedback, and we're kind of getting to the tail end here, and I'm excited for Pluto's one of my favorites. I have Pluto on my ascendant. I understand Pluto, so I'm really excited to get in there and get into Pluto with you guys. And if you are an Aquarius sun sign and you're waiting on your solar return forecast, I have it halfway recorded from earlier before I got too sick, and I'm going to finish the recording today or tomorrow, and so that should be available to you very soon. And if you haven't ordered it yet, I actually extended the pre-order period because of the delay, so you have until the end of this week to pre-order to get 25% off, and then you'll be the first to receive it once it's finally ready for you guys to help you navigate the year ahead. And I think that's pretty much it. My only other announcement is that I'm getting ready for Anarchapulco, you guys. I'm going to be speaking on the Anarch Awaken stage and giving live readings, which it's now up and ready on the website for you guys to schedule a reading if you're going to be there and you want to meet in person and get a reading. This is the only opportunity that I have in the near future for new clients to get readings, just because I'm so overbooked. So if you're going to be there and you want to meet up, definitely click that link down in the description below. You can also get 10% off of your ticket if you want to attend the conference and you know, enjoy all the wonderful speakers and meet like-minded people and all of that. So that's down in the description below too. So that is my announcements. Oh, and I don't have my images for the 12 signs. I'm not even using my normal camera because I could not get it to work on my new Mac. And so I'll have hopefully everything set up for next week, so that way I have my little icons in the corner again. But you're going to have to just rely on the timestamps today. I'm really sorry, you guys. I tried to get everything set up, but I just want to get this video out, and I'm having some difficulty setting up my my whole system here with my recording. So you got a grainier video with weird coloring, no icons, but the information is still legit. So let's get into this. So first, let's actually reread this a tiny bit here. So for Aries and for Aries rising, this energy is going to be very, very strong for Aries, especially if you are an Aries sun, moon, or rising, with your sun, moon, or rising sign near the middle to end of the sign of Aries and any of the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs, you guys, Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, are going to be hit the hardest by this energy. And I mean, that's the way it's been for a while now. You guys know this. You keep watching these forecasts. But for cardinal signs in particular, this is going to be a very strong energy. And for Aries in particular, this eclipse that's coming up on Friday, that's really strong throughout the whole week and into next week, is going to cause you to have to look at something about yourself and who you are on a personal level that you didn't really want to see, that's been hidden in plain sight all along. It could be revealed to you through very complicated, very difficult, and maybe even oppressive feeling or power struggles involving people in positions of power and authority, involving your work, involving your workplace. It could also involve power struggles and difficulties involving your family, your children, your roots, your home, your place of living, your parents even, where you really want to focus your energy and attention on your roots, on your family, on whatever is going on in your home life, because that feels the most important to you right now. However, there's so much going on in the area of career, your public reputation. If you're somebody who's in the limelight, you might be dealing with rumors or oppressive energies or something like that. With that Mercury energy too, you can have some really stifling, very challenging communications coming in this week that you're going to have to deal with before moving forward backwards. So it's kind of a struggle where you want to maintain balance, you want to focus on your family, you want to get out of the limelight, but you have to be out there right now because there's so much going on and it needs to be addressed. It's kind of like you have to focus your energy and power through it. This is going to help you though to continue that process and hopefully finish that process of releasing and letting go of anything that doesn't serve you anymore when it comes to your career, anything that feels oppressive, that's holding you back from accomplishing your biggest goals and plans. Whether those are oppressive circumstances involving your career or your workplace or a boss or an authority figure, whether those are oppressive circumstances just in your career path in general, like maybe you hate what you're doing and it's finally reaching this breaking point, and maybe you even realize that you're the cause of your own misfortune, or you're the cause of your own suffering to a certain extent when it comes to the work that you're doing that maybe you're not so invested in. And so you'll see your role in this. You'll see that you need to take responsibility for what you've created, and you'll much more easily be able to control it and let it go because you realize that you're a part of this too. It's not just all this outside unseen force, it's you, and you need to put in the work. You need to change yourself in order to change the trajectory in your career path. And Jupiter's going to come in very quickly over these next few months and help you to rebuild and expand on that area. But you got to do the work first. You have to do the final purge, the final letting go, the final restructuring. You have to get very clear about what you want this week and into next week as well. And once you accomplish that goal, which might be harder than you think, once you face your fears when it comes to something that needs to be addressed in your career, you'll be able to move forward. You'll be able to have that work-life balance that you're really striving for. This could also this week bring some sort of very drastic, shocking, unexpected financial change. That could be for better or for worse. You could have a random influx of money that comes in, or you could have a bill that comes due unexpectedly that you forgot about, or some sort of really crazy expense or an opportunity to spend money on something you've been wanting to spend money on. If that's the case, I recommend not acting impulsively and really thinking it through, but there could be financial changes that come in this week as well, but I do think that those are going to predominantly be positive for you. I keep wanting to click my little icon, but it doesn't exist right now. So for Taurus and for Taurus rising. So for Taurus, there's a couple main events here for you guys. Of course, there's going to be the eclipse energy, which is going to be kind of pulling you back and forth between wanting to focus on your bigger goals, your ideals, your beliefs. There could be something really limiting or restrictive or difficult that's going on for you in the area of foreign travel, of higher education, of connection with people in foreign countries. There could be something going on that's inhibiting your ability to pursue higher education or pursue some sort of travel plans that you've been really working toward, and you get like a message that is just super heavy and super oppressive. And this is a week where you might feel like you're losing hope to a certain extent because something's being revealed to you that is stifling this sense of like a broader perspective or a broader vantage point in your life, this sense of optimism. This is going to help you to restructure your beliefs about whatever it is that you're trying to pursue in life in a way that's much more real, much more practical, much more in alignment with who you truly are and what you truly desire. But there could be some sort of mental or ethical conflict that comes up this week. That's a big one too, where maybe you're being asked to compromise your morals and ethics, your value systems, and you're just not comfortable with that. And that's going to be sort of a test of character that comes up for you this week as well. You might want to focus more on your immediate surroundings, your community, day-to-day communications, learning some sort of new skill on a more practical level, but you might have complications with that. So it's kind of like you're being pulled in two directions. And especially if you have travel plans this week, there could be some conflict or difficulty or delays in those travel plans. For Taurus people in particular, if you are a Taurus rising sun or moon with your sun, moon, or rising within that first 5 degrees in the sign of Taurus, especially at 2 degrees, you're going to be feeling this Uranus station really, really strongly. And so this is going to be a time where you're going to feel super frustrated with your current circumstances and you're going to desire to make some sort of change. And it might come like all of a sudden out of nowhere. It's like this burst of insight and frustration where it's like, I can't continue being this. I continue this direction anymore. This is not me. This is what I want. I don't feel free. I don't feel independent. And so this is where you're going to feel a very strong urge to rebel against your current circumstances. If this is something that's been building and you've been thinking about already in the past, now's the time to take action. If this is something that's coming on just now for the very first time, that could be more of a situation where you need to take a step back and just make sure that you're thinking things through and not acting too impulsively, because there is a danger of making the wrong changes and the wrong decisions if you do act too impulsively right now. And again, there's no thing to I'm like wanting to click my thing. All right, for Gemini rising. I'll get it together for next week, you guys. It's been a crazy week here too. But for Gemini and for Gemini rising, this energy with the full moon lunar eclipse that's occurring in Cancer and Capricorn in this T-square with Eris is going to be happening actually in your second house of finances. It could be that you're really wanting to pursue a new path when it comes to the way that you create your resources. It could be that you want to make a really big, important purchase. It comes up, it feels fated, it feels really good, but there is something holding you back in the area of debt, of other people's money. Maybe you need to ask permission from a spouse or from a business partner before you move forward with an expenditure, and they're just not in on it. They don't want it. Maybe you have debts or some sort of financial burden that you have to take care of. This could also be challenges and a lot of psychological intensity around dealing with things like insurance payouts, insurance policies, dealing with things like inheritance, the things that you inherit from other people through death. This could also be you having to face a lot of fear or anxiety or past issues and traumas around the subject of death very literally. That sometimes can come up. Saturn through the 8th house, even in transit, can bring about this fear of death, this fear of loss and letting go, this fear of transformation. But once you face those fears, it can be deeply empowering. This could bring up a lot of past traumas and issues that you've been really working on letting go of over the course of these past few months, really, if not longer than that. And it can bring it to a boiling point. You can get a communication or some sort of idea or thought that comes in that's very intrusive or obsessive in some way that causes you a lot of fear. This is a really great time for you to practice anything that helps to alleviate that. So different sorts of breathing exercises, different meditation techniques. Cognitive behavioral therapy would be a great thing to invest in right now or engage with. Something can also be revealed to you that can come through your social circle. So you might realize that, there's somebody who's trying to take power away from you or who's trying to hurt you in some sort of way or manipulate you in some sort of way within your social circle. And, if that is the case, it's something that you've realized the whole time, right? You've realized it the whole time in the back of your mind at least, or on a subconscious level, but now what's been hidden in plain sight is coming about in a very overt way that is just no longer ignorable. And so people in your social circle will be revealing themselves to you left and right, or an important sort of insight will come through involving who you're surrounding yourself with, or some sort of group association or group membership that you're a part of. You might realize that, oh my gosh, this isn't what I thought it was. How did I not see this? And that's going to cause some sort of internal conflict or a need to break away or change something. It's going to liberate you from, this energy, but it might not feel good in the moment. And so that's going to be part of this energy too. So it's going to show you who your true friends are and what is really going on, so you can make better choices for yourself. And in the end, you're going to feel free and liberated, and you're going to have much better connections as a result of that. The Uranus station is happening in your 12th house, which is the house of the subconscious. There could be some sort of unexpected circumstance that comes about that rattles you from the inside out. There could be a really intense urge to study unusual forms of spirituality or philosophy or unusual knowledge in general, but to do it in secret, to do it behind closed doors. There could be this a very sudden, shocking situation that comes about that causes you to have to deal with 12th house institutions. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I think with Uranus, because Jupiter is still in a close trine, it's going to ultimately be a more positive experience, but this could be an unexpected opportunity for you to spend more time in solitude and seclusion. Go on some sort of spiritual retreat. Spend more time on your own to figure out who you truly are and what you really want. And so that's going to be part of that energy for Gemini too. And for Cancer and for Cancer rising. So for you guys, this full moon lunar eclipse energy is happening in your sign. So this is going to be a big one for Cancers. So first and foremost, there's been a lot of energy around restructuring and letting go of really oppressive energies in relationships. If you feel oppressed or stifled by your relationship, if you feel like your relationship is no longer working in the way that you would like it to, if you feel like you are not getting what you truly desire and need in relationship, you've probably been feeling this for a while, but especially if you have that Cancer rising sign within a few degrees of 20 degrees, so really anywhere from like 15 to 25, 30 degrees, you're going to be feeling this really strongly, but especially near that 20 to 23rd degree. This is going to be a huge energy where you're going to be really wanting to focus on you, on your own personal development, on your needs, on this new direction that you've been taking or trying to take in this life. And it feels fated. It feels like you need to move on this new path, but there's something holding you back. You still have to take care of business when it comes to those relationships. You might have to address something involving psychological issues of your own in relationship or within a partnership, you know, on the partner side of things. This would be a great time with Mercury there to undergo some sort of like mitigation or mediation within partnership, or to go to couples counseling where you're talking things out and you have an objective third party there that can help you to hash out the details and to see things more clearly from that outside perspective. This is where you have to do some deep inner work around relationships. You have to face your deepest fears around relationships so you can feel empowered to move past that and empowered to focus on what you need, because that's part of this too. You're becoming a new person, and that's also part of the challenge in these relationships. And that's not just romantic partnerships, it's all close personal relationships right now. And there could be something that is maybe troubling or difficult to accept that's being revealed to you when it comes to work-related partnerships, especially close relationships or relationships with bosses and things like that, that you don't necessarily want to be true. Like, you don't want it to be true, but you realize it's been there in your face all along, and now you have to address it. Now you need to restructure something. Now you need to liberate yourself from this energy so you can have more freedom in your work and feel much more connected to what you're doing. This could also reveal to you your true nature when it comes to your career path, and maybe it'll bring an opportunity for you to connect with what you came here to do when it comes to your vocation. The other thing too is that Uranus is stationing to go direct in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of friendship, and so this could be an energy where something changes very dramatically, or a very shocking, unexpected situation comes up for you when it comes to your social circle. I see this though as being primarily more positive than anything else, because there is still a close trine with Jupiter going on with that Uranus energy, and so this could just be a positive new friendship coming in, really exciting, really out of nowhere, that changes something for you in a big way. So that is something that you can at least look forward to, and that person too, that new friendship, can help you to gain a really completely new perspective on your current relationships, close friendships, like romantic partnerships or otherwise. All right, and then for Leo and for Leo rising. So for you guys, this full moon energy is actually happening in your 12th house. There is a huge desire to pull back and pull away from the world. There's so much on your plate right now. You've been working so hard. You feel so burdened by your day-to-day routines and activities, and you feel like you just need to escape. You want to escape from reality, but there's not any way to practically do that right now because there's so much that's demanding your attention. And the things that are demanding your attention are your work, especially your day-to-day work routines, or your relationship with your coworkers, or some issues involving your workplace and your immediate surroundings within your work. Excuse me. I'm starting to lose my voice again. So there's an energy here where there's some sort of oppression in your day-to-day experience with your work that you want to break free from, but you feel like you have to persist, you have to keep going, you have to wrap things up the right way and not the fast situation with power struggles within the workplace that could come up for you. There could also be a lot that you're dealing with in terms of health, your own health, or maybe you're taking care of the health of somebody close to you. So maybe somebody's sick or you have to care for somebody else. There could be issues that come up involving pets. Domesticated animals are the 6th house. I also look at 4th house for that, just because I've seen too much evidence that that's usually the case because they live in your home usually. But there could be something that comes up that's sort of like oppressive or difficult or challenging or psychologically could bring about a crisis involving pets or animals in some way that you have to deal with. You have to do something in real life to remedy the situation. There's something that's going to be revealed to you too regarding your day-to-day routines and experiences and the work that you're putting in. You're kind of toiling away on a day-to-day basis. You feel like you can't catch a break. But whatever it is that you're working on and that you're working on letting go of, you could realize that there's some sort of ethical issue there. You could realize that your true nature is not in alignment with what's going on with your day-to-day work experience. And so you need to cut cords with something, or you need to change something pretty dramatically this week in order to free up energy so you can hide away, so you can spend more time in solitude and pull away from that energy in the 6th house a little bit, because you need a break and you deserve one. The other thing that's going on is that Uranus is stationing to go direct in your 10th house of career and public reputation. And so I do see this as being more of a positive thing for everyone, although it can bring a dramatic change or this really incredible urge to rebel against some sort of circumstance in your current career path or a current project or a current work-related relationship where you just don't want to do it in the same way anymore. You want to do something that's more exciting, more liberating, that helps you to feel free. Maybe you want to work more independently. This energy can provide not only the opportunity, but the motivation, because you're going to feel like you can't continue on in the same way anymore. And so that would actually be, you could also have a positive, really surprising new development in your work that comes about this week that changes something sort of from the outside that helps you to do something that's exciting again and to feel lit up about your work. All right. And then for Virgo and for Virgo rising, again, there's nothing for me to click. But for Virgo and for Virgo rising, this full moon energy is happening in your 11th house of friendship. And so this is not the most challenging energy for Virgos in particular. Virgo and, even Taurus to a certain extent, because, Uranus is stationing there, but it's doing good things. But the earth signs outside of Capricorn, so that would be Taurus and Virgo, are not being hit quite as hard by this eclipse energy. It's not going to be quite as difficult. The Pluto-Saturn conjunction might actually be experienced as more positive, especially if you have your Virgo rising sun or moon sign anywhere between, I would say 15 to like 30 degrees, but especially that 20 to 23 degrees in the sign of Virgo. This is going to be a very positive transformation that you've been really building toward and working toward. You've been working on changing your life in some big way to allow you to restructure things so that way you have more time, more energy, more connection with your joy, with your playful side, with the things that you do because it's fun for you, because it allows you to experience some sort of pleasure. And so you've been working on that, and so that's going to be part of this energy. If you've been working on letting go of things that are repressing you or preventing you from connecting with that, then this is going to move a lot more smoothly for you, and so you can have more opportunity than anything else. This could also be, on a more challenging note, some sort of challenge or oppressive energy or difficulty involving a romantic partnership, involving your children, where you need to let go of you need to surrender something. So this is Pluto and Saturn, right? This is about letting go and surrendering control to a certain extent, and letting go of institutions, entities, people in your life that are holding power over your head or trying to control you via your children. That could be part of it too. Because you are a Virgo, I think it's going to be much easier for you to work through this energy, although it will still be work. And so that's going to be a big part of this too. You might have something really important revealed to you involving legal issues, involving ethical issues, involving your moral, philosophical, or religious value systems that's been hidden in plain sight all along, that changes something for you and helps you to work through the challenging energy involving your children or the lack of pleasure or joy that you're trying to break free from so you can engage with that more so in your life. But this is a week where you're going to feel like you want to spend more time with your friends. You're going to want to spend more time focusing on your group connections. That's what's going to feel good. That's what's going to feel most important to you. You will have to kind of address these other things, but that's really where your focus is going to be. And even for Virgos at the early degrees of Virgo, if you have your sun, moon, rising within the first 5 degrees, Uranus is going to be stationing in a really nice trine with your ascendant. And so this is going to be a positive expression of change where you liberate yourself from anything that's not in alignment with your integrity so you can show up, just with a greater sense of like, hey, I'm doing what I came here to do. I'm doing what's right. This is also, and this could just be you making some sort of positive change just kind of in general, but it could be a change that comes up for you in an unexpected way involving an opportunity for travel or for some sort of higher educational pursuit. But this could also just be you changing your mindset around something and adapting your identity to that change in your mindset in a way that feels really good, liberating, and freeing for you. All right. And for Libra rising, so this full moon energy is happening in your 10th house of career and public reputation. It could feel like you really want to pursue something big when it comes to your career goals and plans. You want to put yourself out there. You want to be focusing on your work. But there's so much going on behind the scenes. There are power struggles and battles and complications and issues that can be quite challenging involving property, right? And that could be property that you're living in or property that you rent and own. I know someone who has, an office space they're renting that's having issues, who's Libra rising. I mean, it could be anything involving property where there is some sort of issue with a contract or agreement or a power struggle or some sort of challenge that could be both physically and psychologically difficult for you that you have to work through this week, where somebody who you've been maybe in partnership involving a particular place of living or property situation has revealed their true nature to you, and you realize that you saw this, it was hidden in plain sight all along. You saw it, but somehow you didn't truly see it or you didn't acknowledge it. And now that this has happened, you have to let go of something. You have to purge. You might have to purge a partnership or relationship. You might have to purge a certain dynamic within a relationship involving your family, involving your place of living, involving your significant other, in order to let go of some of this stress and tension and challenge and burden that's been going on in this 4th house of the home, family, and property. So that way you can free up energy to develop your career, because this is a year where you've had the potential, and you still will until May, to grow and really expand on your career and your name and your notoriety. But there's been so much pulling you from behind the scenes that's been preventing you from focusing on that fully and completely. This is the chance to get rid of all of that chaos and to be able to finally just put all of your energy to that career development, to whatever it is that you've been wanting to do out in the world. And so that's going to be a positive energy. Uranus stationing to go direct in your 8th house could bring unexpected divine inspiration or insight around some sort of problem or difficulty involving taxes, debt, other people's money, inheritance, insurance payouts, something like that, where you realize a new solution to an old problem and it comes to you very clearly out of nowhere, like a jolt. This could also be an unexpected circumstance that brings money into the 8th house, where all of a sudden, you have some sort of payout or some sort of financial success that comes. This could also be a great time to do something, with that Jupiter energy in the 4th house, trining that energy in the 8th house to renegotiate some sort of contract around your home and property involving other people's money and resources. And so that could be part of this too. Even though there's struggle going on there, there's an opportunity for you to change something in a positive way. All right, and then for Scorpio and for Scorpio rising. Okay, so for you guys, and also for me, this is happening in your 3rd and in your 9th house. And so this is going to be, so first off, there's a lot of energy wanting to focus on pursuing your goals and plans when it comes to travel, when it comes to higher educational pursuits, when it comes to creating an educational program or teaching or publishing something. You might want to focus more on the bigger picture, the broader perspective. You might want to focus on just traveling or something, or getting your travel plans together for the future. You might have some really crazy, unexpected opportunities that come to you or have already come to you involving people in foreign countries or travel to foreign countries. And you want to focus on this. And it's coming to fruition. It's finally developing in the way that you wanted it to. But there's something you have to take care of first. And this could be some sort of challenge, difficulty, some sort of message that comes in that's holding you back and that you have to address, involving important, really difficult communications, involving restructuring the area of your day-to-day communication, of your dealings with things like email, communications, websites, computers, which, by the way, computers are definitely ruled by the third house. I already thought that after just working with hundreds of clients and seeing these things play out and having these things occur in my life with these third house energies a lot. But this last eclipse, it sealed the deal for me, just because that eclipse with this energy here, with Jupiter being involved, it killed my computer, but it also provided an opportunity for me to improve my setup, which is not completely set up right now. I'm struggling with that. That's what I'm dealing with right now. But you might be dealing with something similar where you need to deal with something challenging, like setting up new equipment. You might have computer issues. You might have communication or email issues that come up for you this week. You might have to really rethink your plans for the future or your marketing plans. You might have difficult, really restrictive, burdensome communications that come in, and there might be issues that are revealed to you, especially about your communication, your marketing, your website, your computer situation, involving your work and your day-to-day work routines, and how maybe this is preventing you or hindering you from having the best situation for yourself in your work. This could also be an employee or somebody who you work with, so a coworker or a whole group of coworkers maybe, revealing their true nature to you this week. So you realize that this person is like exactly who maybe in the back of your mind you thought they were, or you should have seen this, or this was right in front of your face, and you realize, oh my goodness, how did I not see this? How did I not recognize what was going on here? And you might need to have a difficult conversation with somebody. This could also be something that's revealed to you that was hidden in plain sight through some sort of important communication involving your health, where you realize, oh my goodness, this was here all along, and somehow I didn't notice or I didn't see it in some way, and how did I miss this, right? And so this could cause some sort of revelation that liberates you from some sort of health difficulty or some sort of issue around your nutritional plan or your health in general, and it shakes you out of your old paradigm in a way that might feel challenging, difficult. You're going to have to put in some work to fix it, but it's going to be super liberating once you do. The other thing going on here is that Uranus is stationing to go direct in your 7th house of relationships. This could bring, especially through communication, because there's a lot of energy in the 3rd house there. Jupiter's still in the 3rd house in sort of a wider trine with Uranus, so I think this will bring a positive change to the dynamic in your relationships. It could cause you to feel much more liberated and much more free in your partnerships, and those could be work-related partnerships, those could be close friendships, those could be business partnerships, those could be things like, of course, your spouse and marital or long-term relationships. Anything that involves relationships right now is subject to this positive change, so you might feel much more liberation in your relationship. Something might change for the better, and it might come out of nowhere, or you could have a really incredible new opportunity that comes through some form of communication within your partnership, and it shakes things up in a really positive way, makes things more exciting for you. All right, and then for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So for you guys, this full moon energy is happening in your 8th house. And so there's this really incredible desire to deal with 8th house issues and 8th house themes. It's like, I want to pay off debts. I want to get maybe a new loan or financing for something. I want to invest my resources in some way. But there's something holding you back from doing that, and that could be restrictions in your resources, very literally. It's like the money coming in is not allowing you to do what you want to do, to invest in the right way, to store money away, to to pay off those debts that you've been wanting to pay off. And so that could be part of this that's going on for you. This could also be where you want to really focus on your psychological needs. You want to do the inner work, but there's a lot of outer work going aggressive energy going on involving your money and the resources that you create through your work. This could be the final chance to purge and let go of restrictive, burdensome, oppressive energies involving your work or involving your resources or the way that you create them. So you really have to restructure your plan. You might have to really start focusing on creating a budget and sticking to it. And you have to, it's like, it becomes very serious now. It's like, okay, now I really have to get serious about the way that I'm using my resources, because it's gotten to that point where this message, or maybe it could even be with Mercury, you get like a bill in the mail and it's like, how am I going to pay this? Or where did this come from? How am I going to deal with this? And so it's going to be a wake-up call in a lot of ways. This could also be you sort of realizing something about what you truly want and desire when it comes to the way that you experience pleasure, what you do for fun, to experience joy, where it's being limited, restricted, or inhibited in some way by your financial situation. And so the true nature of what's going on here and what you truly want for yourself is being revealed to you, but there are some complications. There's some work you have to put in order to truly connect with that, right? To truly engage with the things that you love. And so that's going to be part of this energy too. On the plus side, even though there could be some sort of issue with your resources that you're dealing with, a restructuring, maybe a refinancing of some kind that's burdensome, that requires a lot of work or paperwork or feels psychologically like a crisis to you, you might have to be dealing with that. And also restructuring the way that you value your resources and your beliefs about money and that type of thing, that could be part of this too. But there's going to be a positive opportunity that might come for you this week, especially related to your career and your resources, your work and your day-to-day work routines and your resources, where you might have some unexpected change in your work routine or your work schedule or your relationship with your coworkers, or an unexpected opportunity could bring a gradual increase of resources. So it's kind of like you have this difficulty that you're dealing with here, but you have a sense of hope because things are changing. And so that's what's going on for Sagittarius. For Capricorn and for Capricorn rising, this is a big week for you guys. There's been a lot of focus on Capricorn for quite some time. And, you know, if you are a Capricorn sun sign, I highly recommend, especially if you're born this week, because there's a lot going on in your sign. I have a 2-hour solar return sun sign forecast that goes into all of the energy for the year ahead, especially the energy for your solar return this week, or, you know, throughout the Capricorn season, that will give you a good idea of what's ahead for you this year. Because these themes of this week, if you are born this week with this really intense energy surrounding your sun in Capricorn, that's going to continue on. That's going to be like a major theme for the year ahead. And this is going to be a year of change for you. Like, everything for you is going to change. You're going to have to let go of a lot and surrender a lot, but you're going to see a lot of positive growth and development as a result of the surrender and the purging and the restructuring and letting go that you're doing. And so you get kind of a combination of those energies. And for all Capricorns, this is the case, especially this week. You have this really intense pull to want to focus on your relationships, focus on the needs of others, stop focusing so much on you, what you want, what you desire, what's going on in your world. However, you're being pulled to focus on your identity. You're restructuring who you are out in the world. You're changing your level of responsibility in some way. You have all of these really burdensome energies where you've been feeling limited or restricted in your ability to move about the world in the way that you see fit, or to do the things that you want to do, where it can feel really oppressive and really heavy. It could have to do with your career. It could have to do with financial issues for you in particular, that maybe feel burdensome, heavy, or restrictive, especially involving debt or something like that, with the sun being the ruler of your 8th house. I mean, there could be a lot of different things going on here. But the main takeaway is that you want to focus more of your energy on your relationships, on developing really good, solid connections with people. You might have faded new connections, a really important new relationship that comes in this week. But there's something holding you back from embracing it fully. And that could be your own personal hang-ups, your own personal conditioning around relationships, the fear of letting go or loss of control that can come with relying on or trusting in somebody else. That could be part of what you're dealing with right now. You could feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders because you have so much responsibility that you have to deal with right now. However, if anybody can work through this and get through it, it's Capricorn. this is your thing. You know how to put in the work. You know about delayed gratification, and you understand that these things take time. And so focusing on that and just taking little small steps to overcome any difficulties, especially if there's psychological difficulties, like you have conditioned beliefs about yourself that are preventing you from actually moving forward, you'll be able to overcome this, especially over the next few weeks. There could be something that's really important that's revealed to you when it comes to your true nature, or the true nature of somebody in your family or in your home environment, or the true nature of an important situation involving your home. And so that could be part of this energy too, where that feels burdensome to you. And it's like you want to focus on all these things. You need to make these changes. You need to restructure this, that, and the other thing. But you have this thing that's being revealed to you when it comes to your family dynamic, maybe. And it's like it's been there all along, but you somehow didn't see it clearly, or didn't see it at all, or just kind of neglected to deal with it. And now it's coming up and you have to deal with it. And by working through that energy, and by changing the things that you need to change, liberating yourself in the area of your home, family, or property in some way, changing the dynamic of your family relationships, you're going to feel much freer and much more positive about that area of your life moving forward. Uranus is stationing to go direct in your 5th house, which is the house of children. So this could be a really surprising, shocking, positive development involving your children. I know I have a friend who's a Capricorn who mentioned, because I mentioned something about getting your children into a good school or something, and having difficulty with that. If that is something that's happening for you, that could be the surprise, right? It's like maybe you want to have more time to focus on you. You're trying to let go of these burdens, restrictions, and responsibilities, and something finally pops up, and it's a really positive new development or change in the dynamic between you and your children. This could also be a really positive opportunity to engage in something that's just fun for you. So it's like, yay, I get to go out and have fun. There's all this going on here, but I can break away. I can do something that brings me joy, and this feels liberating, and this is what I want to continue to expand into the future. All right, and then for Aquarius and Aquarius rising. So for Aquarius, this energy is happening in your 6th and in your 12th house. So you might feel really this incredible urge to focus your attention on your work. You want to be out there, you want to be doing things. So you want to be out there in the world, you want to be doing things, you want to be focusing on your work and on your daily routines, you want to be focusing on your health, and making sure that you're doing all the right things, right? You want to focus on your nutrition, you want to be working out every day, or whatever it is, but you want to be out in the world doing something. You feel like you got a lot to do, you feel really motivated to do those things, but something's pulling you back. There's something that needs to be addressed internally first. There's like an internal struggle. There's this need to surrender, purge, and let go of a lot of attachments in your life. You're kind of going through this ending phase right now where there's a lot that you're letting go of, and that might be grabbing your attention. There might also be this necessity to deal with responsibilities involving 12th house themes, so hospitals, prisons, rehab facilities, even like things like retreat centers or something like that, where you're being forced to kind of be away from the world, even though you want to be working and out there doing something, changing something when it comes to your daily routines. There could be an important communication that comes in that reveals something to you. It could be that it reveals something important involving your siblings, your neighbors, your community, or just around your ideas, your thought processes, the way that you communicate, that it was just there all along, but you didn't realize how that was holding you back or preventing you from expressing yourself in a way that was more true to you. And so that's something that could be revealed for you this week also. I would say that for you guys, one of the positive things that could happen this week is there could be an unexpected change or development involving your family, your home, your property, your place of living. That could be very positive, where it just comes out of nowhere. It's sort of shocking and disruptive, but it's a good thing. It's like, I have to rearrange my life a little bit. I have to rearrange my home maybe. I have to, move really quickly, but it's for a better thing, right? It's for a better home. Or there could be an unexpected development involving your family that you have to address, and it's kind of like, okay, this is disruptive to what I'm trying to do here, but I'm so glad this happened, because now I have such a much better, much more free, much more exciting, much more just liberating relationship with my family members. And so that could be part of this energy for you too. Okay, and then for Pisces and for Pisces rising. is happening for you guys in your 5th house, which is the house of joy. It's the house of pleasure. It's the house of things that you do because you love to do them. So this is a great place for the eclipse for Pisces people in particular. This eclipse, especially if you are a Pisces sun, moon, rising, around that 20th degree, I would say anywhere from, again, 15 to 30 degrees, you'll be feeling this really intensely, but especially that 20 to 23rd degree, you'll be feeling this really concentrated energy here, and this is going to be impacting you positively. This is really you wanting to break away and focus your energy and attention on the things that you're passionate about and that you love. This could also bring a need to focus more of your energy and attention on your children if you have any, or on your children's development in some way. But there is something kind of hindering you and holding you back. It's not going to be super crazy and negative necessarily, but there's something that needs to be addressed when it comes to your social obligations or your social circle or your friendships in some way, where people are, you feel like your social obligations are burdening you and preventing you from focusing on the things that you love to do, that you want to do on your own, or focusing on your relationship with your children, or, you know, playing and doing things that are fun for you. So there's going to be kind of a push and pull there. There might be something like an important message that's revealed that causes you to have to rethink some friendships and let go of certain old friendships in order to make space for some new ones. That's been something you've been going through, or that helps you really get clear on what you truly want and desire when it comes to your social connections. It's like, okay, I can't take this anymore. I don't want this type of friendship. I don't want to be involved with this type of group. So why am I doing this? And it'll be pretty easy for you to work on letting go of that once you get clear on what's being revealed to you. The other thing that can be revealed to you is, you know, some sort of issue involving your finances, especially finances involving friends and social networks, people that you surround yourself with by choice. It could even be that you have a friend or like a connection with a group of people that are constantly asking you to spend money or causing you to go out and just overspend and exhaust your resources, and you realize that, oh my goodness, I'm letting them, you know, manipulate me, or I'm letting them like sway my opinion, and I'm doing things that I wouldn't normally do, and now I can't pay my rent, right? So that could be something that's revealed to you where you realize that you don't have to do that, that you're not obligated to go out to the fancy restaurant when your friends are doing it just because they're doing it. You're not obligated to loan, you know, your other friend who's unemployed $20 every week or whatever, and buy them food or whatever it is that you're doing that's enabling people to take advantage of you, that's causing these burdensome, oppressive energies in relationships, especially if it's involving finances. Maybe it could even be just like actual material possessions, like you have a friend that's always borrowing stuff from you and they're never returning it. That's something that, you know, you have to kind of take a look at your role in that, and it could be revealed to you, oh my goodness, I didn't realize this person has been kind of using me in a way. So that's something that might come up, that might be kind of like a hard thing to have to recognize, but once you do recognize it, you'll very easily be able to take hold of that energy and make the changes you need to make for yourself and for your own financial well-being and for your own experience of joy, because that could actually be holding you back from doing the things that you love because you have these obligations with your friends, especially on a financial or material level. Uranus is going to be taking this stationary position in your 3rd house, which is the house of communication. And so this is where a positive message could come in. Some surprising new information could be revealed that changes your plans or changes your mind about something, and helps you to develop better relationships. This could also be a positive new friendship coming in, especially within your community or neighborhood. This could be positive interactions with siblings or extended family members like cousins or aunts and uncles that change things for you in a very positive way. And so this is, even though there could be some difficulty in social connections, it's mostly positive. It's mostly you restructuring things in a good way. It's mostly you figuring out how you can devote more time to things that bring you joy. It's mostly you having maybe positive new connections coming in to fill in the gaps from the more oppressive, not so good relationships that you have been working on letting go of for a couple of years. And so I think it's an overall, this is a good energy for Pisces. All right, you guys, so that is my forecast for all 12 signs. Thank you so much for sticking with me and for being patient. And I hope that this eclipse energy treats you all really well, and I will see you guys next week.